Hello, I'm Suzanne Dunn, and congratulations on receiving your real estate license. We are going to be going through a book of training. It's 15 chapters, and what I like to do is I go through each chapter, and then I will be giving you homework after each chapter. When you bring me in the homework, I will be giving you the next chapter to be doing at home. The reason why we like to do this way is because at my training sessions 2 times a week, I like to just go into things that are going to help you and bring you further in your career, kind of more advanced training. But this book is not only advanced, but it gives you all the basics you need to be successful. So starting out with chapter 1 is basically an introduction to real estate. When you get into real estate and you get your license, you want to make sure that you're going to be the expert in the field. You want to have skills in handling the transaction. You want to understand the customer's needs. You're going to have empathy because moving is a very stressful time for people. And you're going to want to know what their feelings and their circumstances are. You're going to want to deal with honesty and sincerity and build relationships with clients throughout the transaction. You want to give them special attention to their needs and wants, and listen carefully to when they express what they are trying to accomplish. And you want to assist them after in helping their families and friends and become their realtor for life. When you respect and care about people, they're going to give that back to you with respect and care about you. So a lot of times people say, well, the buyer wasn't loyal, or the seller didn't like me. The best thing to do is do your best in every transaction and always try to give 1,000%. That's all you can ever do. You're not 100% of people are ever going to like you. You might have some problems. Everybody's going to have a problem from here and there. There's a lot that goes on with transactions. Don't take it personally, and even call them back after the deal, even if the deal wasn't the smoothest. You always want to call them back after the deal because most people forget. They're just angry at that time. With education, I think that most people, when they get their real estate license, they think they're coming into training and then that's all the education they ever do. After over 25 years in the business, I always keep up on education. I'm always learning new things, always trying to advance myself. There's different types of education you can get in real estate. There are certificates and groups that you can become affiliated with, which I have a list of them, which is mainly the GRI, the CRS, the IHMS, CSPE, ABR, there's green designation, the CIPS. These are special designations that you can achieve. Each one of them have costs involved, and continuing every year you have to be a member. As for the GRI, there's no continuing education or costs involved with the GRI. That's a wonderful designation to get. It's basically 3 courses. And when I tell people to do their continuing licensing, I say take one of the GRI courses that counts for that, and then you'll have 2 left. And it's not just having to go 45 hours in class. You now have something at the end of that class. The GRI is a wonderful source because it's the graduate of the Real Estate Institute, because there's no other fees involved. I am a GRI. I'm also a CRS, the Council of Residential Specialists. The CRS, I've made a lot of money through referrals in the past, and basically there's a bunch of steps and transactions you have to do in order to qualify for a CRS. That is a $200 yearly fee. All the other ones too, I'm not going to go through every one, but before you do take a course, make sure you know, because you could be in for $2,000–3,000 in continuing fees if you don't know the cost involved. So as wonderful as the education is, you want to know all that goes along with the designation, because if you don't pay those fees, then you no longer will have that designation. Mentors. In real estate, there's a lot of different mentors and training that you can get outside this training manual. I'm taking from all of the best trainers, and I put together the manual, but you always want to find a mentor or 2 or 3 that you like in the business. Mike Ferry says only choose 1, but I think that, of course, he's trying to sell all of his stuff. But I mean, that isn't a bad idea, but if you're going to take one, Mike Ferry is a wonderful, wonderful course and coaching, and I've done that for years and years, and I highly recommend it if you decide to just go his way. But there's a lot of other great trainers, his son Tom Ferry, there's Haas Pratt, there's Brian Buffini, and then Craig Proctor. There's all kinds of people. If you Google and go online, you can put in real estate training on YouTube, and you're going to get trainer after trainer and programs and ideas. I'm a big advocate on continuing learning. I tell everybody, but nobody wants to listen most of the time after they get busy, but every day you need to have education in your life. Whether you watch a 5-minute video to an hour video or do a webinar, I think it's important, if you want to be at the leading edge of this industry, to always keep your education running and going. Your attitude. This is something that really, I guess it can be learned, but sometimes people just don't have the right attitude, and attitude is everything. And people can read that on you. I tell people, you have to just snap out of it when you're in sales. You can't go in with a bad mood. You can't have a bad day. So even if you're screaming, and I mean, there's been times Jim and I are like bickering, and then we ring that doorbell and bam, we're in the mood just to go in with a positive attitude, smiling, 1,000% in the moment. You can't take and leave anything on your shoulders. If you have deals falling apart and you're meeting with clients, you need to leave that back at the office. You have to have a positive attitude every day. No matter how bad the day was before, the next day is going to be great. That's just part of our business. You may have 2 deals falling apart today. Tomorrow, one will be back together and you're going to go write a contract on another property. So you always have to have a positive attitude and always believe that things are going to get better the next day. And I think that even if your neighbor list with somebody else after you've been talking with them, I mean, there's a million things. Your friends don't call you to list their house. You can't take things personally. So you've got to keep your attitude positive in this business to succeed, no matter what. And you can never let people see that you're upset, because if the house doesn't sell, then you're going to be the next one in line. You have to make sure that your self-talk is positive. You have to have confidence. When you go to a listing appointment, you can't think, oh, the other guy's going to get it. They're not going to like me. You need to be thinking, I'm a great salesperson. I'm going to take this listing. I know I'm going to get this listing tonight at my price. You need to have your self-talk very positive. And I have a lot of affirmations in this chapter that I want you to go through and really start telling yourself that you're really great at this job, that people need to call you because you care more than anyone else. I mean, just keep feeding yourself positive talk, because it's normal for your self-talk to be negative sometimes, or if someone says something about you and it stays with you, you need to be able to release that quickly. You have to have really strong skin in this business, and you're going to be let down a lot, and by a lot of people. It could be family, friends, but you still got to go back and still smile and still be friends with them, because you never know. It's all in your attitude. Sometimes people just want to see you. When a seller gives you an objection, you don't want to get mad at him and say, what do you mean you're not going to pay my commission? You have to listen to them, handle it, and just let it go, and then go back and handle it. But you never want to see people ever see you off your game. Your skills are so important. So many realtors never practice, which is ridiculous. You need to practice everything. You need to practice from what you're going to say on the telephone, what you're going to say in person. You need to know the questions to ask. You have to have these memorized so they come to you and you can listen. So you need to have skills in every aspect of doing real estate. Your fitness and eating habits. Some days are going to be long. If you run to McDonald's and you eat fast food and you're not up on your physical health, this business can take a toll on you, and you can really wreak havoc. So if you're really busy and you have a busy schedule, make sure you take care of yourself. Take some time in the morning to take a walk. Maybe listen to some inspirational things when you're walking, or some positive something on your telephone that you can get onto, some training, or do things that are positive to just keep yourself healthy. Your personal appearance. Of course, you want to be well groomed and dressed when you go to a listing appointment. You don't want to show up rolling out of bed with shorts on. Every time that you go to these appointments, you need to be dressed to the nines. You have to fake it before you make it. If you haven't got $1 in the bank, you need to look like you have money. Your car, you don't have to have the best car. You have to have a clean car. Clean out your car every day. Wax it, wash it, make sure it's polished. Make sure you look organized when people come and meet with you, because people judge you on that. So it doesn't really matter what you drive. It matters how you look as a person, that you're well together, your car's immaculate, you're dressed professionally, and that's very important. And the last thing that you really need is your market knowledge. You need to know what's going on in the neighborhoods. You need to preview properties. Any property that comes out that's vacant, you should get the lockbox code and go and visit it. Know your market, know what's out on the market, know the prices, because that's going to give you confidence when you walk into the door. And that brings us to confidence. Where you walk into the door for a seller and you know every house that's for sale and you've sold half of them, you have a lot of confidence. If you haven't sold a house and have no clue on anything, your confidence is going to be lacking, and people can feel that. So you want to be prepared, you want to be confident at all times. A perfect situation is when you have a buyer and it's your first or second time out, you want to go out and actually run the route. I've had so many agents when people are so upset with them because they're lost and they're confused. Run the route, open a couple lock boxes, be comfortable, be confident in your business. Take that little bit of time to prep up front, and then you're going to feel really confident when the appointment comes with your first few, because those will be your most nerve-wracking. With listings, listings are the name of our game. Having no listings means you have no inventory. So to me, the most important thing you need to do is become a great listing agent. And every day, your focus needs to be getting listings. Buyers come from listings. Agents can be out showing all your properties. You could be on vacation for a week and you can make $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000, $100,000. If you have the inventory, you can make the money. If you have no inventory and you leave and you're not working your buyer or buyers, you have no money. So inventory, the people that control the inventory control the business and make a lot of money. It's like having a store with nothing on the shelves. What are buyers going to come to you for? There's nothing for you to sell there. When you have the inventory, you have the yard signs, you have everything that all your marketing pieces. When this house is sold, you get the recognition. So everything comes from having listings. Even if another agent sells that listing, you get that credit. So you really, really want to be able to and have double transactions to go out there, and your main focus has to be a great listing agent, and we'll teach you how to do that. In this book, I have a printout about important things you can do to have a better life. This is very important, and there's a lot of things in there that will help you and guide you to get you in the right mindset, because life isn't all about real estate. It's keeping that balance between your family, between your business, between your health, between your spirituality. There's a lot of aspects that go into between your contributions. So you as a whole, you want to work in all those areas. And I think in real estate, the people that are more balanced in all those areas do a lot better. So here's a wonderful things that you can do to feel and work at your best. So you can read through that. Sales mindset. You have to really have a sales mindset in this business. Everybody's like, oh, I want to help people find their houses. If you're not a good salesperson, it's going to show and you're going to really suffer. And being a good salesperson is always having the client's interests in mind, but helping them to be able to make a decision. To go in there, you always want to have the feeling that you are going to get the listing, and you want to have the belief that it's going to be your way. And you want to make sure that you have that mindset that people are going to know that you really, really care about them, but you're going to help them get their house. You're going to help them sell their house, and you have to have that confidence. One thing you want to do is you want to be a great assumer of the sale. You want to assume they're going to list with you. You want to assume that you're going to get it at your price. You want to assume that they're going to be buying or selling another house with you. So everything is about assuming the sale. You don't want to think, when you're asking them a question, are you going to be leaving the washer and dryer when I list your home? That is very powerful, because if they don't want to list with you, they're going to say, oh, well, we're not listing our home. So it's going to give you that, and you could just say no problem, but it's going to give you that little bit of a insight on what's going to go on in the presentation. The more you're setting out closing messages subtly, then you'll have an idea on what their thinking process is. They might say, well, we have 4 agents coming in after you. Well, hopefully you knew this up front, but if you do, then you'll know it then. So you always want to assume that you're going to be getting the sale, getting the listing, and that you're going to be their agent. The other thing you want to do with your salesmanship is you want to be able to build rapport. Now, you don't want to be there all day trying to be their best friend. You want to have them like you. Look for something that's maybe a similar interest. Maybe they have fishing poles and you like to fish. Maybe they're into football. Something that you have, that you don't make up something. Find something that you're similar. Maybe they have a family and you have a family. Whatever that similarity is, use that and try to build a little rapport so they feel comfortable with you and they feel like that you're going to be able to help them out. You want to qualify them, and qualifying isn't financially. Qualifying has a lot to do way more than financially. You want to qualify their needs. If you are trying to sell them a 2-bedroom house and they truly need a 4-bedroom because they have 3 kids, you're not doing a very good job. You want to know their desires, their pain. If they don't sell their house and they're transferred and the wife is here, they're going to have some pain. So you want to know what their pain is. If they are moving to see their grandchildren in California, you want to know and keep that in your mind that if they don't go, that's going to create pain for them. So you want to bring that up when you're trying to help them make a decision, because a lot of people try to avoid making decisions. So you want to remind them when a contract comes in and they're $2,000-$3,000 apart that, you know what if you don't get this price again? And what if you put off seeing your grandchildren for 6 months to a year? That's what's really important to them, not that little bit of money. It's the ability that they can put off making a decision. So the better that you are to trying to help them to do that, the better that you're going to do for clients and the better you're going to do for yourself. You have to be able to present things in a positive manner and be comfortable with presenting. You have to be able to close and handle objections, and you want to pace them for a future pace. Basically, you want to pace them where they want to be, like where they want to be in the future. Like, say that you would want to say, okay, in the future they want to be with their grandchildren. So you can put something like, well, you can see yourself in California. You're going to be there in 2 months, and try to get their dreams in front of their face. Try to make them think, oh, you know what, I can get this over with quickly. Because like I said, people don't like to make decisions, and so you need to be able to do it in a nice, calming way where they're going to feel comfortable, where you're not pushy, but you help them do the right thing. Because the right thing is to get that contract signed and get on with the process. This is just stating again about assumption. This is probably one of the most critical things. You always want to believe that they're going to do what you want them to do. And you're always going to believe that you're going to be that agent. Another thing you want to be able to do well is to match, mirror the client. If they speak really fast, then you want to speak very fast. If they are really slow talkers, you want to try to be aware of that and slow down. Because if you're talking really fast, like I talk fast, they're going to think that, oh, they're just a slick salesperson if they're a slow talker. If they're a really fast talker, then they're going to really feel comfortable with that situation. So know where you lie in that balance, and if you're really slow, you might bore someone like me. So you want to maybe speed it up a little bit, get to the bottom line quicker, and kind of feel the prospect and kind of try to match with the way that they are. If they're emotional, if they talk with their hands like me, you want to be emotional. With the volume, you want to match their volume. You want to have the same or similar expressions, the breathing and the gestures, because then it just makes them feel comfortable. Don't make it obvious. Just try to keep it in the forefront of your mind to try to make them as comfortable as possible, because they're meeting you for the first time. They don't know whether to trust you. So, you want to build that rapport and trust. And always tell the truth. And another thing too is having a powerful listing presentation and showmanship. You want to entertain, educate, and close. So you want it to be a light appointment. You want to be, where it's an easy conversation. You want to educate them on the market. You want to educate them on the process, and then you want to be able to close. And there's affirmations in the book that you'll be able to read, and I suggest you read this again and again. This is very powerful stuff. It's very important that you really do a lot of these things and start to apply them to your life. And we'll practice more at the one-on-one training, but it's good to know this stuff. And also that you want to give yourself the affirmations that are in the book, like I'm a powerful presenter and dynamic listing agent. I am a great listener, and I hear my clients' motivation. So those are things that you want to keep up and be on top of. It says you should be developing anywhere from 7 to 10 different closes that you feel comfortable with. Something simple like, will you be leaving the washer and dryer when we list the property tonight? Or what other fixtures will you be leaving what should we include on the listing? Just little simple things. And where will you be moving when we sell this house? Things like that, just to put it in their head that they're going to be going through with the transaction. Come up with things that you're comfortable with. Those are just very easy things to say in a conversation, and you want to be able to move up. The better the salesperson, that the more or the harder the question. So if you those things would be an example of a one question, like just basic questions. Now, say the question, "Are you ready to list the property with me tonight?" That is a 10. So people, you want to mix a lot of the hard closing questions up, and be able to deliver them where it's a comfortable way for you to deliver them. But if you want to be great in this business, you need to have powerful closes, and you got to be ready to ask those hard questions. Asking people what they make, asking people how much they have that they want to invest in the property, how much money they're willing to spend. These are things that are a little bit difficult for people to ask at first, but they'll become very comfortable with asking these questions. So, in this book, I have tons of affirmations, and I'm a high believer in affirmations. I have all kinds of different pages in here that you can practice and put into effect. And for your homework, what I want to do after this chapter is I would like for you to write down 5 affirmations and bring them to me, whether you want to record them on a phone, whether you want to write them down, and start practicing them every day. Do it now is a good, I have a do it now, I get things done, I do things now. If you don't do things now, you want to tell yourself that you do things now. I'm a doer, I get things done. And this is really good for that. I have attitude of a champion. If you have attitude, like you want to have that attitude, like you're going to always win. I am well organized and efficient, one step at a time. I can handle the situation. I set goals, short-term goals, long-term goals. When I feel stressed, I remember to focus on my breathing. When I feel pressure, I relax and the tension in my muscles. I enjoy exercise. I exercise for physical and emotional health. I manage my time, skills, and energy efficiently. Pick out 5. There's tons of them here. They're awesome. pick out 5, make them your own. You can say, just even doing a power walk, saying affirmations is just awesome. And you feel, by the time you get home, you're going to feel like $1 million and just get ready to go take a listing. Mindset for success. I have affirmations for your mindset for success. I am successful. I am successful at whatever I do. I am the best. I believe in me. I believe in what I think, and I am a positive achiever. I set goals, short-term goals, long-term goals. So you can see, like, and I have 2 pages there. So I have improved self-image. If you have a problem with your self-image, I have things to improve that. And then, like I said, for homework, I really would like for you to go through those affirmations, find 5 that really suit you and what you need to work on, and put them in your head and start telling yourself that for a month, and then change them up. But, you know, it's a really powerful way to start your day. So I still do it, especially if I'm having a bad day. Sometimes I get away from it and then I get back on it. If you're having a bad day, you start saying those affirmations and nothing can really bother you at that point. You just say, oh, you know what, tomorrow's a new day and I'm going to make it great. So get used to doing that. So I'm going to bring you through the buying and sale process. So the first thing you do is you have a prospect that calls you. So what they do is they're going to select someone to sell them the property. You're going to go through and find out if they've been qualified and qualify them not only financially, make sure they're not still in a lease for 6 months, or, you know, that they're ready to buy now and not in 2 or 3 months, or, you know, you have to ask a lot of questions, and we have those later, but you want to qualify them to make sure that they're going to be ready and willing and ready to go and have a checkbook ready if you find them the perfect property. And that's one of the questions you can ask them. If I find you the perfect property tonight, are you ready to buy it tonight? That's a 10 question. Get used to asking things like that. And then you want to go through and you want to make sure that they've been pre-qualified. Now, this is where new agents get into a lot of problems because they just take their word for it. They don't go further with it. It's a requirement for you to get pre-qualified by my lender. Just so it's great to have a second opinion, only because I find that so many loan officers have no idea what they're doing out there. And it's unfortunate, and you're going to get to really realize this, that so many people can't get deals closed on time, and it's one nightmare after the next. So to have a great loan officer in your corner, and I always just ask them, would you mind if you just talk to my lender and just get a couple different programs? And sometimes when I'm just asking them questions, their lender has done nothing. I ask them if they have got a good faith, if they have any idea what their payment is, and if they have no idea what any of these things are, most likely their lender is going to be horrible. So you need to ask them what are they comfortable paying? Has their loan officer given them the payment? How much do they qualify for? Did they get a payment on that? Do they know that it's with their taxes and insurance? So there's a lot that's going to go into that. But basically on the process, that's what you're going to do is have them with a lender, or if they've talked to a lender, you're going to ask them questions to make sure that it's legit. Then you're going to start to look for properties. And once you find a property, you're going to write a contract, and you're going to select that, and then there's going to be whatever contingencies. It could be contingency on financing, or it could be contingency. There could be no contingencies if it's cash, or it could be contingent on them closing on their house. So there could be some contingencies involved. Then once the offer is accepted, you're going to get inspections done on the property. And the buyer will make their mortgage application, and then they're going to have their credit report run, and all their stuff will start to be pulled. And then your job is to have inspections done, because that usually has to be done in 5 to 7 days after a contract, and then it's as is most contracts. So you want to order the inspection within 5 to 7 days. I say immediately, as soon as you get a contract, order the inspection. We have multiple inspection companies to choose from at the office, or they can choose their own. I usually give them a few choices, or whatever you feel comfortable with. Then the mortgage will be approved. You're going to be sending this to a title company as soon as they apply with the mortgage company, so they can have all the title ready to go. And then you're going to just arrange for settlement date. and you're going to have a pre-settlement walkthrough, and then you're going to go to settlement. So that's basically how that process works, and then you will walk them through to the settlement. Now, if you have the listing, what you have to do is you're going to get the listing contract signed. You're going to start marketing the property. You and the other agents will start showing the property. Then once they have an offer and they've signed a contract, it will be back to the same thing. The buyer's agent will be ordering inspections. The buyer's agent will have them with the loan company, which you've got a loan letter from, you asked for that with having the listing. Then they're going to go through the same process. They're going to go get the mortgage approved. You're going to set up settlement, do a walkthrough, and go to closing. So that's basically the process that you'll be going through. In this office, you learned in licensing about single agency and transaction broker. We're mainly transaction brokers in the state of Florida. There's nothing to disclose anymore. Everyone assumes that we're transaction brokers. If you do have someone that requires single agency, just come and talk to me about it, and we'll kind of go more into that. And that's basically it for chapter 1. The main thing in this is you get your skills, dress professionally, have a clean car, do a great job for people, respect people, be positive at all times, your attitude is everything, and find 5 affirmations that you feel comfortable with and that you are going to put into play on a daily basis. And then bring those to me, and you can go on to chapter 2. Thank you.